In the middle of the goals, 25 yards out, strike it, and the goalkeeper's thrown his hat on it.
Which is coming up on BT Sport 1, a real game to look forward to. Saturday the 10th of August at 2:30, Arsenal against Manchester City, live, as I say, on BT Sport 1. Plenty of pre-season action on these channels before that. Martin Skrtel clearly slot into the Liverpool back four for the second half. It's these two clubs who made big strides in the right direction last season. Liverpool making up a gap of 23 points to go from 7th place to 2nd in the Premier League. Joe Allen became an important part of that side in the latter stages of the season, started to make a bigger impression under Brendan Rodgers, particularly, of course, when Jordan Henderson was suspended for those 3 games at the end of the season. Mention the strides made under Rodgers by Liverpool. Brondbyu went from narrowly avoiding relegation in 2013 to European qualification in 2014. He ended up 13 points better off on the previous campaign. As you can see, Flanagan is another one of the Liverpool players who's come on. Cody, Allen, Flanagan, Ibe, Jones, Skrtel, 16-year-old Phillips, Dorian, who of course was on loan at Groningen in the Netherlands last season, involved today, as will be Pietersen too. Certainly a very experimental look to this Liverpool side for the second half, Dean Saunders.
Yeah, all change. I think first game, get your fitness levels in, making sure that players don't get too tired where muscles start pulling, because as I said, they've been training quite heavily, doing a lot of base work. So the manager decided just give them all 45 minutes, I think.
Is that about right at this stage of pre-season, Liverpool's first game?
Yeah, you just don't really want players to be, because as I said, the training's harder than the games, and then you go into this game and play 90 minutes on top of training hard. You're liable to pull a muscle. If you pull a muscle, 3 weeks, you miss all the important games. So you ease them in gently.
Of course, in goal for Liverpool in the first half was Brad Jones, but a player very well known, Daniel Ward, to you, Dean, a player that you sold from Wrexham to Liverpool.
Well, yeah, he was in the process of it. We had a lot of clubs interested in him, and we needed probably 250,000 to keep the academy going, and Liverpool come in for him. It's a great move for him, and it just shows you, he started in the conference at Wrexham and Liverpool come and bought him. So never give up. These players who get released from big clubs and end up playing in the conference, just got to put the performances in, somebody will come back for him.
Dorian with the pass, just straight offside. Pietersen.
Real strong character, Danny Ward. Real good voice, talks, doesn't let things faze him. Good kicker of the ball, good shot stopper.
Been at Wrexham from the age of 14. Welsh senior international call-up against Finland in November of 2013. No first team debut yet, but twice on the bench. So many young players out there for us to talk about. People, regular watchers of Liverpool's under-21s and under-18s over the years will be very familiar with, but not so familiar to your mainstream audience, if you like. That's fantastic. From Ibe, real pace and directness about his game. Taken to the byline, good ball over two, and Liverpool have equalised. It's Pietersen. What a start to the second half, and 2 of Liverpool's youngsters combine.
Well, what a brilliant bit of play from Ibe. Great impact from the bench, and Pietersen has probably not touched the ball. It's a great bit of skill. He's just let it run through his legs. Defender's gone for it, and then he's shown a bit of pace, a turn of foot. Good control running the ball, gets to the byline, cut back. Pietersen in the right place in the 6-yard box, and just nudges it over the line. I used to like them goals. They were my favourites. Just stand in the 6-yard box and get cut back from the byline. Great play from Ibe though, what an impact.
He's just 19 years old, Christopher Pedersen, a Swedish under-21 international, signed by Liverpool in January of 2011. He agreed a new deal with the club in January of this year. He was a 17-minute substitute in the final game of last season, that friendly against Shamrock Rovers, a 4-0 win for Liverpool. It's a different looking side altogether, isn't it? Not just in terms of personnel at the start of this second half. Liverpool look like they really mean business.
Yeah, well, right back, Brondbyu gets out of position there and Ibe's in again. Probably still recovering from the last run he's made. He's walking now, look. That's 2 runs the length of the pitch he's had. Here he goes again. Has he got it in his legs?
He's exactly a year younger than Raheem Sterling. Ibe, one of those that feel he has the raw potential to be as good as Sterling. Some have even suggested perhaps better, but of course remains to be seen, and a lot of developing to do. It's so hard, isn't it, to gauge just how good a player is going to be in the first team.
They got to play.
That sort of age.
They got to keep playing, and unfortunately for managers, you got 6 games. If you don't win 6 games, you're on the brink of the sack these days. So to leave young players in when they're not doing that well is. But Brendan's managed to do it with Sterling, and look at the difference it's made to his game. He's playing for England. But Ibe's a good prospect, always pace and skill, always got a chance.
Says the area of his game that he's trying to work on the most is his finishing.
That's the most important bit. Look at Messi, Suarez, Ronaldo, all the top players. They get half a chance, they finish.
He's loaned to Birmingham.
As Ron Atkinson used to say, the game is littered with strikers who don't score. Score, or I'm not picking it. That's what he used to say to me.
To the point. Square ball by Jones to Skirtle. Lloyd Jones, 18 years old, under 18 international. Here's Ibe again. Have another run at Holst. He doesn't know what's hit him at the moment. That time, Peterson's control just slightly let him down. Kielenberg. Demisi. Of course, Liverpool could yet face Danish opposition in this season's Champions League. This season's champions, Aalborg, or indeed the runners-up FC Copenhagen. But Peterson having another run here. He's penalised the Liverpool forward. What a start it's been for him.
Well, he's shown a bit of pace there as well, but I think the defender's done really well, just got his body across him, stopped him getting around him. Joe Allen is another player I had at Wrexham, he's done brilliant. He's playing for Swansea at the time and took him on loan, scored on his debut against York City. Great goal. He just needs to establish himself in the team now, and he's got a kick on.
Of course, captain Wales for the first time on the 4th of June against the Netherlands.
Yeah, Welsh speaker, there's not many. He's one, John Hartson's another one. Speak Welsh, I think there's probably 3 or 4 in the team, which is shameful, really. I don't speak Welsh. I can speak a little bit.
Is Dumic, who's on as a second-half substitute for Brondbyu. The changes clearly will be more limited with their first game of the season coming up on Sunday. Time for tinkering really is pretty much over for Brondbyu.
Great atmosphere in the ground for a friendly, and it seems to have lifted now with Liverpool scoring. The fans have come to life.
Flanagan. Now Ibe. Kielenberg. It's a nice touch by Elmander. McKenna with the floated cross. It was a good delivery in there too. There will be a real threat in the forward areas for Brondby this season. McKenna and Elmander, a handful, lots of height in their forward areas. Ibe waiting in the middle. Dorian was there too.
Well, this is where Brondby have got a chance to counter-attack, but they don't seem to have the pace to hurt Liverpool on the counter-attack. But there, Liverpool committed 6 players forward. The cross goes into the goalkeeper's hands. He throws it out, but they haven't got the energy and pace to actually hurt Liverpool's back four. Slowed the game down again.
It's been a while since Brondby actually tasted defeat, either in competitive or friendly action. Danish champions Aalborg BK with the team to beat them. That was on the 13th of April. I imagine Daniel Agger will have a fair bit of autograph signing to do on his way out of the Brondby Stadium today. He really is an absolute hero, that Brondby.
Well, he's done well for Liverpool, hasn't he, over the years? He's been a good servant to the club. He's had Jamie Carragher alongside him, who, by the way, would have given Ibe a rocket for back heeling the ball in front of his own goal like he did. And that's how they learn, you know, from your peers. You learn more from your peers than any coach, and people like Jamie Carragher are priceless.
Jones. He's comfortable on the ball, Lloyd Jones, on the ball here. He's an unused substitute once for Liverpool in the Premier League, a 3-1 win at Fulham in May of 2013. Kellenberg. It's brought down there by Dorian.
Yeah, Dorian's given the ball away and then tried to redeem himself. Just young, that's what young players do. He's trying to redeem himself. He's actually got the ball, and obviously tackling from behind. The referee can't see that, gives a foul.
He's been at Liverpool a while now. Dorian mentioned earlier he was on loan in the Dutch Eredivisie last season at Groningen, but signed by Liverpool from MTK Budapest in 2009. What can they do from this? Plenty forward here from Brondby. It's only just wide from the skipper, Thomas Kellenberg.
Effort, but I think Brad Jones had it covered. But it's a great effort. He struck it really well. The keeper's got it covered. Out. Yeah, Brad's.
Touch here for the Brondby goal scorer, Nørgaard. Even he was shot the way. Confident claim by Brad Jones. All 3 of Liverpool's FA Cup ties last season, Brad Jones. Oldham. Still is interesting actually to see.
Great goalkeeper for Liverpool over the distance.
It's one of quite a few in this Brondby side tension of. Scouts from around Europe. Liverpool did very well indeed on loan at Sheffield United last season.
He did. I watched him play a few times with Sheffield United last season. He was the best player on the pitch. Not actually getting promoted, but he's back at Liverpool, so he'll be thinking to himself, what's going to happen to me now? Am I going to play, or am I going to go out on loan again?
It's fantastic for Brendan Rodgers. When we look at this Liverpool squad, we get a chance to see some of the younger players, some of the fringe players get a chance, and you think, you know, will they have Wisdom now, who potentially could go back out on loan again, but does he have Johnson in front of him? He potentially has Flanagan in front of him, whose natural position would be Brendan Rodgers, which is they're going to need this season.
Yeah, and in the Champions League, so he's got money to spend.
Another name I didn't mention there for right back as well is Martin Kelly, who can play in that position. So at centre back.
Yeah, it is nice to see all the players out there, and the fans watching this game now must be thinking we've got a great future in front of us. There's so many of them.
Frank, Kellenberg. He seized upon Liverpool on the counter-attack here. Flanagan's distribution was good, but all through in turn wasn't.
He's got a great attitude, Flanagan, wants to win, wants to take part in the game, cares what the result is, which you think all footballers do, but I promise you not all of them do. But he is definitely a player you can rely on.
Elmander battling to win it back here. They pick out a good cross here towards McKinnock. Well read that by Martin Skirtle. He knew exactly where McKinnock was, right behind him. Here's that double change there. Miguel Tuzen coming on here for Brondby. Ariel Nunez. Martin Albrechtsson, one of those being replaced. Jose Ariel Nunez, Paraguayan international. Scored 6 goals in 12 league appearances for Brondby last season, the second half of the season. The first half of it was spent at Osasuna in Spain. Johan Elmander given a rest for the last half hour or so. That first game of the season coming up on Sunday will be so important for the Brondby cause this season. The other substitute, Miguel Tuzen, Danish international. It's actually one signed by the former Bayern coach, Jupp Heynckes, for Borussia Mönchengladbach.
I've been a bit disappointed. I was looking forward to see McKinnock play. Not really done anything in the game. He is a goal scorer, so they can pop up at any time, but he's not really had much impact on the game.
His record in the league in Denmark last season was 1-2, 12 goals in 24 league games. He turned down a move to the Russian Premier League last summer. But it was better to stay in Denmark and continue his development with Brondby. He was actually an unused substitute for Denmark against England in the 1-0 loss for the Danes at Wembley in March.
Good result for Brondby if it stays 1-0. Sorry, 1-1. draw against Liverpool. And if they don't get any injuries, the manager this will be his team that's starting. You do that the game before. Normally you've got your team in your head. It's ready to play. Bring the subs on. Fingers crossed nobody gets hurt, ready for the big game on Sunday.
Here's Ibe.
Again, skill.
Really is giving Holst a tough time. Still Ibe, it's a wonderful run. And it's well saved, down to his right by Lucas Radetzky, but again, that pace, that directness, that quality on the ball, causing all sorts of problems.
And then you look at the difference between him and Iron Robin. That's the difference in levels. He's saying he's got to improve his finishing. He does brilliant. Makes something out of nothing, cuts inside his right foot. Weak finish.
Still so much
skill.
Improving to do, hasn't he, though, at just 18 years old?
Yeah. Now this is the main bit. Finish that or put your foot through it. Robin scores there, all the top wingers.
It's Demisi. Looks the favourite to hit this. Left-footed. Jones just slightly off his line. Kehlenberg there too. Oh, it's off the woodwork. Wonderful hit. Looked like a handball on the edge of the area. Referee giving a free kick. It was Phillips who, well, it seemed to be inadvertently caught that with his forearm. Brondbyu going so close to getting back in front.
Yeah, width of the crossbar. And they've got another good chance. Demisi this time. Nearly dipped it over the keeper.
One or two appeals from the Brondbyu supporters that he was inside the area there.
Close.
Phillips. It's almost too close, isn't it?
Has to be a right footer this down the goalkeeper's side. It's difficult to get it up and down when you're this close.
Same two players there. Demisi and Kehlenberg. It's the captain who hits it this time. Deflects off the wall. They're saying there was a handball, but it will be a corner to Brondbyu.
He's just tried to flip it over the wall, but it's difficult to get the ball coming back down when you're that close. As you said, normally you're better off just shifting the ball and striking it on the far into the far corner. Try and get a read off the goalkeeper.
Keenock couldn't quite get to that for Brondbyu. Cleared by Jones. Only temporarily, though. It's going to come straight back at Liverpool. Keenock gets his head to it, and it's held under his crossbar by Brad Jones.
First we've seen of him, and he showed a bit of body strength there. In the Danish league, he probably knocks his centre-backs out the way there, but there he's just leaned on Skirtle, got a header in, but not enough pace on it.
He's used all his experience there. Martin Skirtle, starting his 8th season with Liverpool. There was the highest scoring defender in the Premier League last season. Here comes Pedersen, but the flag is up.
Close.
Wide regardless.
I'd like to see that again. Is he off?
Marginal.
Left back might have been playing him onside there. Shows how difficult it is for the linesman in them situations. We've got the replay in front of us. Still can't tell.
Dumic.
See, in this situation here, what you do in training, you'll set little traps. So you make the ball go to a certain direction, and then everybody pounces in.
Liverpool defending in numbers here. Certainly have found their passing range again here, Brondbyu. Look the more likely. This Ibe. Referee immediately giving a halt to proceedings. Head injury for Adorian. Of course, head injuries under so much focus, weren't they, at the recent World Cup? It certainly looks fine to continue here in Hungarian.
It was just the ball.
Wrong under the clearance.
Yeah. Oh, they hurt for about 30 seconds.
A stinger.
Them balls, the mitre balls that we used to use.
The ones with the dimples.
They hurt.
Yeah, particularly on a cold day, I should imagine. Goalkeeper a long way out. Radetzky looking to rush back now. He's ambitious, and it will be a throw-in.
Yeah, it's just like the goalkeeper there getting bored, probably. That's what they do sometimes. They get bored and try and get involved in the game. Nearly made a mess of it.
Quite a character, Radetzky. He's played in every minute of the last two Danish Super League campaigns. Born in Slovakia, but chose to represent Finland at international level. Danish Super League Goalkeeper of the Year in 2013 is McKinnock. Tusen, who gave chase for the home side. Brondbyu, a club that's undoubtedly had hard times over the last decade, both on and off the pitch. A feeling of cautious optimism now, though. Young squad, lots of potential, led by, as mentioned, a forward-thinking coach in Thomas Frank. It'll be interesting to see if they can kick on again this season. All sounds a little familiar to Liverpool, doesn't it? Albeit on different levels.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I was just wondering, John Jensen, the former Arsenal player, I'm not sure whether he's involved with the club. There was talk of him joining, and I'm not sure whether he did.
The home supporters hoping for a free kick there from the challenge on Szymanowski by Wisdom. Ibe, and by Adorian. Look at this run here from Flanagan. Good ball over to... Yes. Held well by the goalkeeper, Radetzky. The effort by Joe Allen, but really good move again, that by Liverpool.
This is great desire from Flanagan. Look at the effort he's making there, just to make things happen.
Just to clarify your earlier question, Dean, John Jensen is indeed a consultant, is his official title with Brondbyu.
Yeah, I thought he was, and it's a great man to have in charge. You know, he's got a lot of experience. I thought he was director of football, but he's a consultant. It's a similar type thing, and he'll be advising who to sign, which direction to go in. And they look like they're really ambitious, and they're gonna go for it. And John is one of the funniest footballers I've ever come across. Great to play golf with.
Took him an age, didn't it, to score his first goal for Arsenal? But I remember when it finally came, it was a beauty, wasn't it?
But he was a team player. You know, he played for Arsenal. He was the player that Liverpool, you know, unsung heroes. Jordan Henderson's obviously, that's been put to him by Brendan Rodgers. Are you prepared to do what I ask you to do to stay at the club? And Jordan's obviously said, yeah, I'll run box to box. I'll sit in front of the back four. I'll sacrifice my own game. So when you got somebody like John Jensen in charge of the club, that'll spread right through. Because John Toshak once said to me, if the generals and the colonels can't get it right, the soldiers can't win the war. And that means if it's not right at the top, you'll never get the team right.
It's Flanagan. Now Skirtle. Brondbyu preparing Ferhan Hasani for action. Early clearance was from Dumic, and this is Wisdom. Jones under a bit of pressure, manages to find Wisdom here. Szymanowski. Cody it was inside the area. Skirtle with the final clearance. Comes that substitution then. Hasani, a Macedonian international, signed from Wolfsburg in Germany in August of last year. Actually a former Macedonian Footballer of the Year back in 2011. He'll come on here for Alexander Szymanowski. Creative player, Hasani. Good free kick taker as well, actually. A beauty against the rivals FC Copenhagen last season.
And from Brendan's point of view, looking at this, Jordan Ibe's caught the eye. You know, he's touched the ball 4 times, beat the fullback 3 times. Could have scored a goal himself, made a goal. So he's not done himself any harm. Young Jordan Rossiter couldn't really get in the game first half. It was a big game for him. didn't really get in it.
Must be a real dilemma for Brendan Rodgers as to whether to send Ibe out on loan again.
Well, as I said, he's got money to spend, and if he will look at the squad and think, right, well, let's see where we are in 3 weeks, and then he'll decide who he loans out. But right now he'll be watching closely.
Could well see Ibe in action again for Liverpool. Their next pre-season game coming up at the weekend against Preston, live on BT Sport 1 Saturday at 2:30 from Deepdale. Side flag up against the substitute Ferhan Hassani.
Normally, in a few weeks, probably, but normally you'd have a few big hitters on the bench around about now. You know, 15 minutes to go. But obviously with the World Cup being on and Lambert and Henderson and Gerrard, he's given extra time off. But I think like a top striker now could come on and score against this Bromby defence.
Lovely feet from Adorian. Lloyd Jones. Made more appearances than any other player in the under-21s for Liverpool last season, Lloyd Jones. Strong, good in the air. It's in towards McKinnock here. Has Ariel Nunez in support as well. No nonsense defending by Skirtle, got the job done.
As I said, there's a difference against a Danish centre-back. He probably knocks him over there with using his body strength, but Skirtle's world class. Different level. That's probably why he's not getting much joy out of it.
Cody.
Wisdom's a strong player, Skirtle's a strong player. Can't outstrength them two. Got to beat him with skill.
There's Joe Allen.
He's another player with a great attitude, Joe Allen. You'd have him in your team every week.
Well, question marks weren't there last season after the financial outlay that there was on Joe Allen, but if you agree, I just thought that he really seemed to improve as the season wore on, and was in that game against Manchester United. I thought he was a good candidate for man of the match in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, he can do a bit of everything. You know, if it, like as a midfield player, you normally turn up for a game, and there's three things you turn up. You train in every day. Three things you've got to have. If it's a box-to-box game in the middle of that pitch in midfield, which is the engine room, if it's a box-to-box game, you've got to be fitter than the player you're playing against. If it turns into a bit of a scrappy game, you've got to be more determined than the player you're playing against. So, whatever you want to do, Joe could do that. If you wanted a football match, he'll play you at that. So he's got them three things in his game. So he'll always have an impact for whatever team he plays for. It's at what level he can sustain that game at.
Triple change then made by Thomas Frank here. Mikael Almabak, Swedish international, one of those coming on, as is the South African Levogang Piri. Patrick De Silva, who's 19, a Danish under-20 international, completes that trio. He actually signed a new contract with the club until 2018. Last summer, Patrick De Silva, and one of those going off, the goal scorer for Bromby, Christian Nørgaard. You'll remember that strike for a long time against Liverpool.
Might get him a move, that. That's what they hope for, these players. They're flat out to the boards.
I'd imagine he'll really be fancying another crack at one of Europe's top leagues. Christian Nørgaard, having had a short but relatively unsuccessful spell as a teenager at Hamburg in Germany. McKinnock has Hassaani in support, decided not to use him though. This is Jose Ariel Nunez. It's one for Pedersen to chase, the Liverpool goal scorer.
That's okay. What, you know, he's given a foul away there, but he's chasing a lost cause, and as a striker, that's what you've got to do. It's not all about scoring.
Alan Mabek with a race on to get to that. He's just about kept it in, and Martin Skirtle had to take evasive action. How about that for a contribution from the man just on?
Yeah, well, that's like determination, and like look, he's trying to get involved in the game straight away. Great cross. You need a striker there who can anticipate, realise he can't get that to the back post, surely he'd get across the near post.
Here comes the corner, in towards McKinnock. Dived upon by Brad Jones.
He's not had a lot to do, Brad, really. They've hit the crossbar. Not a lot else I can think about. So he's had a comfortable afternoon.
Played wide by Adorian to Wisdom. Flag is down here. It's Ide who's in, has support, and it's a good save by Radetzky. Just maybe caught in your minds there, Ide. Jose Ariel Nunez. Well, he said it himself, Ide, that his finishing is the area of his game that he's, with Brendan Rodgers on the training ground, working on the most. We've seen a couple of occasions in the second half where perhaps he could have done a little better. That not to, though, do down what has been a really good performance from the Liverpool youngster. Now Bromby attack at the other end. Jose Ariel Nunez was hoping for the return, cleared by Wisdom. Piri is fouled, free kick Bromby, dangerous.
Game's getting stretched now and should see some chances, both teams trying to win. But Jordan Ivey, great to go through and score, but I think that's a foul. Pulling his shirt there, Joe. Once you pull his shirt, you're going to give a foul away. So there's an opportunity for these to score.
We saw Demisi hit the woodwork from a similar sort of range from the other side. Looks like Ferhan Hassani could well get this one. He is a free kick specialist. Hassani, oh, and he's hit the woodwork too. Fantastic effort. Let off for Liverpool.
Unlucky.
Piri's cross. Jones stays on his line. The head by Hassani goes wide. But what a good free kick.
Yeah, the flight on the ball was perfect. A bit of luck if it just got half an inch and that hits the underside of the bar and goes in. But don't give fouls away round the box against these teams. This is their best chance of scoring, corners and free kicks. So you don't give fouls away.
Here comes that goalkeeping change that we've been expecting. I thought it might be made quite a bit earlier actually, but Daniel Ward, normally managed by Dean Saunders at Wrexham, placing Brad Jones here, Welsh under-21 international. Daniel Ward, mentioned earlier, he was given his first senior call-up for the game against Finland in November of 2013, was only on the bench, but another really promising young player at Liverpool. He'll be delighted to get a chance here.
Well, I can't tell you how pleased I am to see him coming on there. Like, you look back a few years ago, he's in my office and he was like a stick insect. When he's filled out, he's got big shoulders on him, always confident. So he's now playing for Liverpool's first team. All the Wrexham fans will be proud as well. They'll be a bit disappointed they never got to see a bit more of him.
This was with the club from the age of 14. Just missed by Peterson. Wide here for Alan Mabak. Of course, Liverpool will be hoping for a similarly good start to that which they enjoyed last season. won their first 4 matches in all competitions against Stoke, Aston Villa, Notts County and Manchester United. Liverpool start the forthcoming campaign at home against Southampton. 4 trips to Manchester City and Tottenham. Perhaps the fixture computer hasn't been quite so kind to Liverpool this time round.
Well, I don't know. I think if you ask Brendan, he'd say he'll take that. You know, we've got to Southampton at home, should win. Villa at home, they should win. West Ham away, probably should win that. The 2 tough ones, the Man City away, Tottenham away. But Liverpool are a good team. I mean, they'd be looking at, I think we can win them all.
And Merseyside derby in the 6th game as well. Most a mishap for Daniel Ward. Ariel Nunez inside the area. Flanagan couldn't quite get there first.
If that had gone under his foot and in the net, I might have had to put the mic down and go home.
After the build-up as well.
I built him up.
Nunez looks like he's going to be able to run that off. What's the last thing any of these Bromby players want at the moment is any sort of niggle with the first game of the season coming up at the weekend.
But see, the manager's not 100% clear in his team, and these players, it's their chance, last chance to get in the team for the first game. So they're all trying.
Lovely turn centre field by Pedersen. Cody. Just looking at how comfortable all the Liverpool youngsters are on the ball, are clearly exactly what Brendan Rodgers will want. And it's interesting reading an interview with Jack Dunn, who's not involved here today, but another one of Liverpool's young talents. He was saying that Brendan Rodgers comes to nearly all the games at the particularly under 21 level. He knows all the players individually, knows all their strengths, all their weaknesses. It's great to know, isn't it, that he's so keen to know all about these young players and seems prepared to give them a chance as well, which not all managers either want to or are given the opportunity themselves to do through circumstance.
Yeah, well, I believe that as a manager. That's what I believe. I used to go and watch the under 15s, under 16s, and under 17s. I used to watch games. You've got to build from the bottom up. You've got to install your philosophy on these young players who are, while you still can at 14, 15, 16, you can still go out there and just send the message across so that, there's Wardy there, nearly let me down. But I actually played him up front in a reserve game once. He done really well. He's not a bad centre forward. Good in the air.
And he's filled out now as well. It's a good cross. They really are some side, aren't they, from set pieces, Bromby? Always dangerous, and that wasn't too far over.
Yeah, going back to Brendan, he takes an interest in the young players. It's unlucky. Good delivery in. Unlucky that another day that goes in, but yeah, he takes an interest in all these young players because he's been given obviously the license from the board to say, come on, build us a club, and let's get some homegrown players in the team. But you have to get the message across when they're young. It's not all right not to run back. It's not all right to pull out of challenges. It's not all right to pull your head out of things. All the basics that you need as a player. It's not all right to not try one day and then come in the next day and be brilliant. All them things, the manager sends that message. It helps all the other coaches as well.
Strengthening, we mentioned earlier on, will be so important to Liverpool this season with the extra fixtures. It could mean that some of these young players do get more first-team minutes than perhaps many people are expecting right now. Liverpool played 43 matches last season in all competitions. Chelsea, for example, played 57, Arsenal 56. It'll be around that sort of figure for Liverpool this season. Cody's ball in.
I think the thing is, if you keep winning League Cup matches, if you keep winning FA Cup matches, the more successful you are, the more games you're going to play. So some people say don't moan about it. Others will say that the players are overplayed and lose a bit of sharpness. But I know what I'd rather do. I'd rather be winning everything and keep playing.
Saw the focus right now for Liverpool on getting ready for the Premier League kick-off on the 28th of the 28th of August is another date, actually, that they will be eagerly anticipating. The day of the Champions League group stage draw. First ties to be played on the 16th, 17th of September. Fantastic to see a club with such a rich European pedigree, 5 times winners of the European Club Cup, back in the big time.
It really is great, because I played for a number of different clubs, but supporters absolutely magnificent at Liverpool.
You're the proud holder of the European goal-scoring record, aren't you, with Liverpool?
I am. How did you know that?
Little birdie told me.
Oh, right, yeah. In Europe, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that first season at Liverpool, it was when we won the FA Cup, and I think we got the quarterfinals of the UEFA Cup, and we done well in the League Cup. I think we played 70 games. You know, you're going on about playing 43 games. I think it was 70 games we played, because we kept doing well in the Cups.
It's kicked in by Pedersen. Really good footwork there to get past Almavec. And it's diverted behind. As we go into the final minute of normal time at Brondby Stadium. Seen some really good glimpses, haven't we, from Pedersen? Not just his goal, his all-round play, his willingness to get involved in all areas of the pitch.
Yeah, he's scored with his first touch, which helps with his confidence. He looks mobile, looks like he wants to win. Not going to just stand up there and wait for chances. He's going to chase things. And if you ask defenders what they don't like, it's strikers who chase it and never give him a moment's peace. Nutmegs there.
Crowd enjoyed
One
that.
for the crowd.
Are we to see a late flurry here at Brondby Stadium? The right back Almavec is a long way forward. It's McKinnock trying to find that room for the shot, but it was closed down. It's good defending again by Lloyd Jones.
Didn't look as if he had McKinnock there. He looked like a big striker there, didn't he? When he had the ball at his feet.
Couldn't get his feet organised, could he?
No, too far away from his head. His feet.
Into added on time we go. Will we get a winner in this first pre-season friendly for Liverpool? Last warm-up game for Brondby before their season proper starts on Sunday. Hassaní calling for it, gets it too, has already hit the woodwork. Can he hit the target here? Works his way through. Oh, it's wonderful. A fantastic goal. And surely it wins this pre-season friendly for Brondby.
Well, what a goal. You know, as I said, he won Macedonian Player of the Year, and he's come on there. Glided past some defenders. And that, you know, there's one for Jordan out. He's in the same position as Jordan, but he's come in and finished the chance, which is the main thing. It's just a long diagonal ball. Andre Wisdom's he's backing off a little bit too far there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beats 4 men. Slots it in the corner. Not the best defending from Skirtle there. I think he could have done a little bit better. But all credit to him. Strength, skill, brilliant bit of skill there. And a great finish.
Well, it might be pre-season. It might not count for a lot in the grand scheme of things, but try telling that to Farhan Hassaní. He will dine out on that goal for a very long time, I should imagine.
Yeah, and there's no time to recover now for Liverpool. Kick in the teeth late on. But as you said, it's a pre-season game, 45 minutes from most of the squad. No injuries, but don't know whether Ilori's pulled his hamstring or not, but hopefully not.
Certainly plenty of positives for Brendan Rodgers. Several established first-team players getting minutes under their belt, and we've seen so many of Liverpool's youth products. Perhaps many people seeing them for the first time as well, in their first taste, in some cases, of first-team action. Pedersen getting a goal. We've seen glimpses of wonderful quality from Ibe.
Yeah, he had a brilliant 20 minutes. He's just drifted out of the game a little bit now.
Dusen finds centre forward McKinnock.
Got to get the press on now. Liverpool is always sitting back now.
It's Liverpool's next pre-season opposition, Preston at Deepdale on Saturday. With the game you can see live on BT Sport. The Reds are off to the USA with games against Roma, Olympiacos, Manchester City and AC Milan after that Preston fixture. Hyde and Liverpool level it up again. They can't, there won't be time for it. Well, it's victory for Brondbyu and Thomas Frank. Brendan Rodgers, as mentioned, will be delighted just to see some of his players get minutes under their belt. Hassaani with the winning goal in added on time. What a goal it was as well. And we can have a look through the best of the goals in a moment. And of course, it was Brondbyu who took the lead. Another beautiful goal from Christian Nørgaard after 24 minutes. Liverpool came out so strong with so many changes at the start of the second half. Were level 4 minutes after the break through Pedersen after a fantastic work down the left wing by Hyde. Here are the goals.
Well, that's just a couple of mistakes there. Poor header, poor clearance, brilliant finish. Worthy of any game. 1-0 down, goalkeeper, no chance. So that header's got to come out for the throw in this side, headed away from the danger area, and then Sosa's clearance is poor, but take nothing away from him. It's a brilliant finish.
He was presented with the opportunity. The 20-year-old Nørgaard, my goodness, didn't he take it? Really is a fantastic hit beyond the dive of Brad Jones.
Disguise on it as well. This is terrific skill.
It's the equaliser.
Pace. Beats three men. Gets to the byline. First. That's where you should be, in the 6-yard box.
Stabbed home by Pedersen. He's just 19 years old, Swedish under-21 international. Signed a new deal at Liverpool in January. And it's certainly Hyde that did all the hard work there, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. He's come off the bench, that's what you want. And he done it 2 or 3 times as well. But that's just positive play. Easy to just cut inside on his right foot and pass it into the box, but...
Here's the winner in the 91st minute. Hassaani bouncing off the challenges and found the finish too. Lovely goal.
That's the type of goal Messi'd score. Scoring goals out where he just bounces off players and wriggles in between them, moving the ball from foot to foot.
Still has a lot to do, doesn't it?
Yeah, but not one challenge went in from the Liverpool's point of view. Not one tackle. He goes past 5 of them without a challenge.
A goal he will remember for a long time. A former Macedonian Footballer of the Year. Showed all his class there to win this pre-season friendly for Brondbyu. A famous 2-1 victory for them. Liverpool get their pre-season underway. Up next on BT Sport 1 we have the FA Women's Super League. It's Birmingham City against Bristol Academy.